that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Yep. To the end they might forget the law and change all those ordinances. That's when we begin to forget the law and to follow the such laws and commandments of Yahweh Shem Shah. And even the name of Yahweh Shem Shah. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Yep. He said, in the same self manner, he wrote to his whole kingdom. And wait, hold on, let me jump down to another two.
Hey, so back then, that was part of, that was like the hour of temptation back then for Jacob. Either you're going to stay loyal to Yahweh Shem Yahushai and possibly get put to death or catch hell for it, or you're going to sell out and consent to these devils. That was what's going on back then, man. Over 2,000 years ago. Well, we coming into that time now, man. Again. When martial law hit, that's the hour of temptation. When the mark of the beast is implemented, that's the hour of temptation.
When the king sent out his army to execute that among the people, that was martial law in that time.
That's right.
Verse 54, it says, now the 15th day, verse 56, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. They're going to try to get rid of your King James. They're going to, like, the King James Bible won't be off the street, so if it ain't written in you to the best of your ability, hey, it's gone. Or you don't have a secret stash with it somewhere like the book of Eli. You know? You're going to have to know where that's at. Also, that's when that the famine of the word is going to start to be in effect at that time as well. It says, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And whatsoever was found, and wheresoever was found with any of the books of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put them to death. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the cities. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, and which was upon the altar of the Most High. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
So these women, they still was trying to keep the law, man. So that proved back then, the women of our nation wasn't as weak as they are today, man. They had a little integrity back then.
And they did a level of this during the slavery here in Babylon or in America.
Yep. These women, I don't know where they at now, man. They non-existent. They gonna be the main ones that's gonna fold during this hour, man.
They the ones that's gonna fold so fast that they're gonna have their children and their men subject to fold.
Yep.
They're gonna push for us to fold.
So she gonna threaten to divorce your ass if you don't take that chip. So you and her and your family can eat.
She gonna turn you in.
Yep.
It says verse 61, and they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses. Isn't that what it was saying? They went to their houses and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
So you had Jakes that still was choosing death than to be disobedient to the Heavenly Father, man. This is an example. Go ahead.
It says, wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died.
That's right, man.
And there was a very great wrath upon Israel.
That's right. So back during that time, man, you had the sellout Jakes, and then you had Jakes that became martyrs, man. You know, the Maccabees brothers, they fought to the death because they was not trying to dishonored Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Right.
You know? And this was, like I said, this was part of the hour of temptation. They were trying back then, you know what I'm saying, to prove that the hour of temptation was back then as well as today. Get Daniel 11. Daniel 11. Real quick. Daniel 11. And yeah, start at verse 32.
Daniel 11, verse 32.
And this is going into the same time period with the Greeks, when Antiochus Epiphanes was ruling over Greece at the time.
Daniel 11 and 32. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their power shall be strong and do exploits. It says, and they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days.
This is referring to the Israelites from back then that chose not to sell out. Man, they were the ones that were still trying to teach the law and keep it unto death. They were the ones that wasn't trying to eat swine's flesh. They were the ones that was trying to keep the children circumcised, man. Even if they had to get put to death, they had to get tortured, if they had to get burned, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
It says, verse 34, now when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries. And some of them, understanding, they shall fall to try them and to purge.
And that's in Salaki. Was it Maccabees? I want to say like the 8th chapter. First. Yeah. I'll read it real quick. It's First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 20. Judas Maccabees with his brethren and the people of the Jews have sent us unto you to make a confederacy and peace with you, and that we might be registered your confederates and friends, so that matter please the Romans well. And this is the copy of the epistle which the Senate wrote back again in tables of brass and sent to Jerusalem, that they might have by them a memorial of peace and confederacy. Now, this was during the time of Judas Maccabees, when we were still getting persecuted. You had the Romans rising on the scene at the end of the Greeks. They were starting to expand and grow as far as their influence, right? And they became so powerful that they was even more powerful than the Greeks. And Judas and Maccabees basically sent out a confederacy to the Romans at the time for a little help. That's what that little helping with a little help is in Daniel 11 chapter, right? And the Greeks, they knew that they didn't have the same power as the rising Romans at that time. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Back in Daniel 11 and 34, that when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. Some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge and to make them right, even to the time of the end.
Go back to that helping with help, because it's a moral. I don't want to get into it and not break it down the right way.
Verse 34, and when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. And the word hoping in here is helped.
Helped. So basically.